Good morning, St. Thomas United Church and everyone else that is tuning in to Tracy's Tuesday Talk for October 6th. It is October and it is a month of gratitude. Mm-hmm. And I am extra grateful this morning. We had a wonderful rainbow, and Helen is going to put it on Facebook. It was the rainbow flag of the church and the rainbow things of the sign and the rainbow, like nature's rainbow in the background. It was awesome. Excellent. It was awesome. And so I'm grateful for that, and I'm grateful for wonderful fall weather where we can do this outside. And I'm especially grateful to Karen for being here for a second time. That's a whole other story, but a second time to do this interview with me. And today, so great. Welcome. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me. This is great.
So we're going to talk about Calgary Alliance for the Common Good. And so I'm going to ask the first question of what is Calgary Alliance for the Common Good?
Well, the Calgary Alliance for the Common Good is a group of like-minded congregations, unions, schools, and community groups representing over 30,000 people, and we organize to shape a just and compassionate city. It is everyday people learning leadership skills which enable us to take powerful action for the common good.
It's amazing that when you think about 30,000 people, we're a part of that, 30,000 people. So why do you have a huge passion for this? And so why? Tell us about that.
Well, outreach has always been my passion, showing God's love to the people that really need it. And most of the time that is the homeless and struggling families and seniors. Mm-hmm. So the CACG makes it possible to create real change in people's lives by working with the three levels of government to change policies that improve people's lives and make a difference.
Yeah. And Justin and I were talking yesterday about that, saying that we have to remember that the United Church has been a political figure in the past, and that we should continue to be political, not partisan. So let's be clear about that, not partisan, but for true systemic and systematic change, we need to be involved in politics, and we need to, and that's the nice thing about being in partnership with CACG, because they have those connections. Yeah. So what has St. Thomas done so far with the Calgary Alliance?
Well, a lot of us, or quite a number of us anyways, have done a lot of different training. Mm-hmm. We've done leadership training, we've done mental health training. We're learning how the Alliance is effective. Diane Pauly was on the social isolation team. Linda Miller is co-chair of the mental health subcommittee for schools.
Yep.
Last July, we went we wrote letters and we went to the city council meetings to ensure that the city budget cuts didn't affect the most vulnerable people in Calgary.
Yep.
We made sure that they retained the seniors programs that we had fought so hard for the year before. We also made sure the city kept the low-income bus passes and transit service that so many people need. And we ensured that the city's mental health and addiction strategy passed. Last October, 26 people from St. Thomas went and joined over 500 others at Knox United Church for the founding assembly in October, and that was incredible. There's a number of politicians there, and they got to see the real power of the Alliance.
It's amazing, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And also this spring, we wrote to our city councillors again to make sure that we got the building of the Green Line, which is really important for a lot of people. It's transportation routes like that keep our city clean and keep the people that need it moving.
For sure. It's awesome. It's amazing the amount of work that has been done already, and that we're a part of that.
Yeah.
It's a little bit of a prideful moment for us, really, and we can be, right? The amount of work that we put into it. Yeah. So what are some of the things that are coming up?
Well, the big thing that's coming up is the Fall Assembly, which is where we gather to talk about the successes of the Alliance. We launched the public action on this new city budget because there's going to be more cuts. And we talk about the work that's being done in the current committees. That is going to be happening on Thursday, October 29th. And this year, you will not have to drive down to Knox United. You can sit in the comfort of your own home and watch it on Zoom. So it's already in the bulletin for the next 3 weeks. So please get an invitation. please come out and you get to see the work that the church is doing. This is really important.
Yeah, and it really is open to everyone. So anybody who's interested, even if you've never been to anything like this before, just come and check it out. It gives you a lot of information, and it shows you how the work that we're doing.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
There's also constant training in mental health, fundraising, and the Alliance right now is discussing Bills 1 and 32, which really affect democracy in Alberta.
Yeah, one of the things that some of these things get hidden, right? And so we really have to bring them to light all the time. Yeah, we do. So what's the vision of Calgary Alliance, the future?
What's happening right now, the things that they're working on, is a big component is mental health. And it's so critical right now.
Really important.
They're working on having a mental health professional join the police. And so if there's mental health crisis calls, that mental health professional can go out. They're better able to de-escalate.
Yes,
when there is problems. And they understand it better. And that's a really important thing. And we need to have that 24/7. It needs to be there always for people. There's also working on mental health in the schools, bringing somebody in to work with children so that at a very young age, mental health is something that we handle and there's no stigmatism to it. It's like every other aspect of our health. We're also working on a lot of education programs and social isolation, because social isolation and mental health are very closely related. The Truth and Reconciliation team is working on having an Indigenous liaison officer in each of the police districts, again, to work with the people who are Indigenous and are having issues with the police. And again, it de-escalates the problem. Somebody that can understand them and talk them down. So that's a big thing. The city's budget cuts were protecting the services for those most vulnerable. And my favorite is basic income. Basic income is a regular, predictable income which is unconditionally available to anyone who needs it. So people who need to retrain for work, or if you need to stay home to take care of a family member, allowing people to have a dependable income to be able to afford housing and turn their lives around, providing dignity and to feel a part of the society. And so we're doing a big part on education in that, and we're asking people to submit action requests to their MPs, to the Prime Minister, and to the Finance Minister. Hopefully we can make a difference that way, because I think that's a huge part of making a difference in so many people's lives.
And not only immediately, I mean, these are long-term things that affect your health long-term. So we really save money with healthcare. We save money for future things that sometimes crop up because we don't have the income, or we're homeless, or all those things that,
We don't think about, too, that having basic income can actually save us money in so many different ways. The criminal justice system. There is, I can't remember the exact statistics, but it's over 60% of the women who are in jail are in there for poverty-related crimes. Does that seem right? Is that what we want? I think we have better uses for those women.
I agree.
I think that they can be raising families and they can be working parts of society as opposed to being in jail. So that just seems logical.
Thank you. Where do we see us in all this? Where do we see St. Thomas?
Well,
where do you dream St. Thomas is?
I'd like to see everybody at that fall assembly and really see the work that the Alliance is doing. It will help us to be able to understand why we are paying for the membership for the Alliance and the value that it provides for every single one of us. It is a real feel-good kind of movement, and that's what we need right now. I'd also like to see everybody writing to their city councillors, their MLAs, and their MPs. If there's something you need and want, that's the people to go to.
Awesome. Seems like a pretty easy request, both those things. Easy request. And so what's the point of all this? What's the point of having the membership, and what's the point?
Well, we have had outreach in our church as probably as long as this church has been, maybe before this church actually was standing. And it's always been a very important part of who we are.
It's true.
And it's a really big deal to be doing things and taking care of others. But Pat Robbins was the one that always told me, we'd be working on making dinner for In From the Cold, and she would turn to me and she goes, Karen, making dinner for these homeless people makes me feel good, and makes you feel good, and makes them feel good, and they know God's love through this. But what if we could do something that would change the situation for them, that would make it so we aren't needed for this, and we can be doing other things? And I said, you're right, Pat. And I didn't know what it was until we found out about the Calgary Alliance for the Common Good.
That is so true.
And then that kind of was like a wow moment. This is exactly what Pat was talking about. So, it's taking care of our neighbors and taking care of those people that are so often invisible.
True. Very, very true. Yeah. And it keeps the memory alive of people like Pat.
Yes.
You know, that we're so adamant about our involvement in outreach and social justice and all those kinds of things that we're actually quite proud of.
Yes.
You know, that here's an organization where we can join in and it's not onerous. It's they're doing the work and we're doing it together, and it seems fairly easy to join in. Yeah. It's awesome.
Yep. We can be a small part of a big wheel.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Well, I hope everybody who's interested might sign up for that. Look at the bulletin for details on that. Thursday, October 29th.
Yes. Is
the assembly. So so look forward for that. And so I'm just going to sign off by saying have a great week and a wonderful it's Tuesday. A wonderful Tuesday. Hopefully the sun looks like it's trying to come out this morning, and so that's awesome. And we're looking forward to better weather. And so I have an adapted text for hope for you that I want to leave for you, and it is: you are a good person, mistakes and all. You can enjoy the simple things in life. You are unique. And I want to add to that you are loved and you are worthy of love. Have a great week, everyone. Thanks, Karen.
Bye, Tracy. Bye, everybody.